Your geography textbooks lied to you. Or at least they're woefully out of date. Right now, in the absolute northernmost tip of China, a real-life version of A Song of Ice and Fire is playing out. But forget the dragons and the White Walkers. The hero of this story is a sweating, overworked air conditioning installer, and the plot is a cosmic joke that we are all paying for on an installment plan. Welcome to the show. Today we are diving into a topic that is simultaneously frozen solid and burning hot. We're talking about Mohe, China's legendary North Pole. Now, to understand the absurdity, you have to understand the reputation of this place. Mohe is the kind of place where throwing water into ice isn't a magic trick. It's a Tuesday. It's a place so cold that looking at a photo of it in July usually works as a psychological refrigerator. But recently, Mohe has decided to go rogue. The thermometer didn't just climb, it exploded. We're talking 35 degrees Celsius plus. That is over 95 degrees Fahrenheit. And no, I don't mean minus 35, I mean positive 35. Let me put this into perspective for you. This is like waking up to find that the quiet, elderly gentleman who sells pancakes downstairs has suddenly reinvented himself as a heavy metal guitarist and is currently shredding on the main stage at Coachella. It is absurd. It is a touch of magical realism that nobody asked for. Why is everyone losing their minds over this? Because Mohe is the brand ambassador for cold. It is the spiritual home of the winter coat. And now, the locals, people whose ancestors survived by wrapping themselves in animal furs, are frantically figuring out how to install split-system AC units. Just picture it. A place where you used to need a mink coat just to check the mail is now on life support, powered by Freon gas. It's not just an unexpected contrast, it's a total cognitive malfunction for the entire nation. But this isn't just about the weather throwing a tantrum. This heat wave is a funhouse mirror reflecting the chaotic drift of the tourism industry and the bipolar nature of the consumer market. Historically, Mohe sold one thing: extremes. In winter, you go there to freeze your eyebrows off. In summer, it was the ultimate escape, a natural sanctuary where the temperature peaked at a pleasant 20 degrees and you still needed a duvet of night. That was the sales pitch. While you suffer in the southern sauna, we are wearing jackets. Pure, unadulterated climatic superiority. But this year, Mother Nature must have been drinking on the job. Or maybe a chaotic toddler got hold of the global thermostat. Mohe, the theoretical refrigerator of China, went full oven mode. 35 degrees. In cities like Wuhan or Chongqing, that's just a warm Tuesday. But in the Arctic village, it is a catastrophic system failure. It's the equivalent of a penguin asking for sunscreen or a polar bear demanding a cold bath. The entire ecosystem and human logic is being dragged through the mud. The locals are bewildered, absolutely stunned. Ancestral wisdom says keep the quilt on in July. Now they're opening windows, praying for a breeze, and digging through dusty attics looking for hand fans. And the air conditioning? In the history of Mohe, an AC unit was basically alien technology, unheard of. Now, demand has skyrocketed. If you're an AC installer in Mohe right now, you are a rock star. You are the most popular person in town. Now, spare a thought for the tourists. This is where the tragedy really hits. Imagine you spend thousands of dollars fueled by the dream of escaping the city furnace. You fly thousands of miles to the furthest northern border, you step off the plane ready to shiver, and wham! You get hit by a heat wave that feels exactly like the one you just left at home. Where's the natural air conditioning? Where's the sleeping under a duvet? It's the ultimate Instagram versus reality disaster. The seller's show promised a winter wonderland. The buyer's show delivered a sweatbox. The psychological damage? Immense. You go from, finally I can breathe, to, who am I? Where am I? And why am I sweating like a dog in the Arctic? This gap between expectation and reality is a death sentence for tourism. Satisfaction ratings are free-falling. Social media is flooded with complaints like, Mohe is melting, and I went to escape the heat and got cooked instead. Reputation takes years to build but seconds to collapse. Mohe's cool summer brand has taken a massive hit because, let's be honest, the infrastructure isn't built for this. Most hotels there don't have AC because they never needed it. So you're paying a premium price for a subpar experience. It is the definition of bad value. But let's stop laughing at Mohe's misfortune for a second and look at the bigger picture. This isn't an isolated incident. It is a giant flashing red warning light. Extreme weather is shifting from a once-in-a-century event to a see-you-next-year routine, from a news oddity to daily life. The Earth's air conditioning system is broken. The cooling mode is jammed, but the heating is working just fine. Scientists are screaming about data, melting glaciers, and record highs. Mohe installing AC units is just a tiny ironic footnote in a terrifying global narrative. For the tourism industry, this means the old playbooks are useless. You can't sell the weather anymore. Today it's a summer resort. Tomorrow it's a furnace. Today it's a ski hazen. Tomorrow there's no snow. Destinations can no longer rest on their climatic laurels. They need resilience. They need to sell culture, food, history, things that don't melt. And yes, air conditioning is no longer a luxury for a northern resort. It's now basic survival gear. So Mohe's heat wave is a funny news story, sure, but it's also the sharp edge of climate change cutting into the economy. It tells us that the world has changed faster than we imagined. We can install ACs, we can pay the surge pricing, but humanity still hasn't figured out how to fix the remote control for the planet itself. We're still arguing over who broke it while the room gets hotter. To wrap this up, the situation brings a verse to mind. The great North's chill has fled away. July brings fire to the day. Where 50 below was once the prize, now sweat stings in the tourist's eyes. The AC unit is the new king's crown, as ice sculptures melt and drip right down. We sought escape from summer's roast, but the earth burns up from coast to coast. The village screams for cooling air, but who will fix the planet's despair? That is all for this episode. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.